Good morning, everybody that's joined already. We're just going to wait a couple of minutes for a couple of others to join. So we'll kick off in a couple of minutes. Right, I think it's 2 minutes past. Let's kick off the webinar. Good morning, everybody. A very warm welcome. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us today for the next hour and what is a very exciting topic. I'm Matt Allen from NCI. I'm joined by JP, who's doing most of the presentation today about AI and 3ds Max. So very topical. It's the buzzword at the moment, AI. People are concerned about their jobs. Where does it fit into their workflow? How can they save time? So hopefully JP will give you an insight into some of those queries that you might have had. Let me kick off with a little bit of background on JP. Some people might know him already, but he's been in the industry for a number of years and very much seen as an industry expert. He started with 3D Studio DOS many years ago in 1993, which I remember. Some people on the call may not remember that. And he started off as a CAD draftsman. He then spent 27 years working at Autodesk Distribution as a technical sales specialist in the media and entertainment sector. So we've known JP for a long time. He then transitioned into training and consultancy. So he now provides training on 3ds Max, Unity, SketchUp, and Enscape, and various other products as well. And he also works as a consultant for HP and NVIDIA. So on the HP side, he works with their Z portfolio products. And on NVIDIA, it's very much in their AI solutions team. So a really, really good experience. We're very lucky to have him with us today. So delighted he could join. And you are in very capable hands today. A few bits of facts. The session will be recorded today and there'll be Q&A, so please pop your questions in there. We'll try and answer as many questions as we can at the end of the session. We're also going to do a poll question at the beginning of JP's presentation about AI, just to get your feedback, so please contribute to that as well. That'll be very helpful. Next slide, please. Before I hand over to JP, because that's the more exciting part of the presentation, I just want to give a little bit of feedback and background on NCI. Obviously, we had a few company name changes as well recently. So share a little bit more about the company NCI, who we are, and our customer values. So I think those are really important. So NCI is one of the Autodesk largest platinum partners worldwide. And we have an international bandwidth over many, many sectors. Over 900 employees. You can see a few here. We weren't invited to this photo because I think they wanted the most beautiful people, and so we weren't included. Hopefully we'll be on the next one. So over 900 people. We focus on lots of areas, including software, consultancy, hardware, our own IP, and third-party services. So we cover really all industries and all sectors, and I think that's really important. So a very large partner and able to offer you many solutions in all your varied industries. Next slide, please. So here's a map to show where we are. So we're currently in 13 countries worldwide and growing all the time. We joined the company in just over 2 years ago. Our most recent large acquisition was a company called Mac Data based in Brazil. And we've been adding to our 13 countries more acquisitions since then. And it's very much the goal of the company to acquire businesses that add value to your business. So that's really a prime objective now in our acquisitions. So the company is growing organically, and it's also growing with acquisitions, and that will continue. Next slide, please. Just some clarification here on names, because obviously some of you will know us as our old historic names. When we joined the company, you'll have heard the names BlueGFX, and you'll have heard Diatech. So just to be clear, so everyone's clear on the new model, on the new NCI UK and Ireland, I think it's important to understand that. So, you know, as BlueGFX, we were a very well-known European media and entertainment reseller in the market, and had been in the market for a number of years, based in the UK and Dublin. We joined the group, as I said earlier, in September 2023. Diatech joined 2 months later, which was great. And their specialities, they were also based in Dublin in the UK, which made it all very convenient. They specialize in the AEC industry and also in design and manufacturing. So in simple terms, we basically had 4 companies, 2 in the UK, 2 in Ireland. It made logical sense to make 4 into 2. So we finished that merger this year, and we're now really call ourselves NCI UK and NCI Ireland. So the branding of BlueGFX has gone, and the same with Diatech. But the really important thing here is to be assured that we are the same trusted teams, same locations, same relationships, and we've got an expanding level of service. There's more basically we can offer now as part of a larger group. So just wanted to be clear on the name. So yeah, just refer to as NCI UK and NCI Ireland. It's quite simple now. Next slide, please. I won't labour this slide. I'm nearly finished. You get onto the exciting bit in a minute. Now, I just want to focus on the trusted partner, the top middle one, because I think this is really important and very much part of the culture of NTI. So that's why I'm mentioning it. It's very important for us that we always aim to collaborate with our customers, and integrity in our business is very much the foundation of what we're all about at NTI. So I just wanted to note that point. And we've got lots of customers, some are on the call today, and very much value those relationships with our customers. Very, very important to our business. Next slide, please. I think I'm there now. So we'll hand you over to JP in a second, who's going to show you the more exciting bit. Thank you for listening. Please do interact and give us your feedback. There'll be questions, Q&As at the end of the session. I will now hand you over to JP. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matt. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, it is afternoon because I'm based in the Netherlands and we're still 1 hour ahead. So yeah, it's quite a story to tell, actually, when we start talking about AI and 3ds Max workflows. So the purpose, the goal of my presentation will be to first get everyone on the same page, that everyone understands what Gen AI is. Then we're going to talk about different diffusion models, how to deploy them in your own environment, how to speed models up by utilizing GPU resources, and we will end with an overview. Are we able to generate 3D models based on a prompt or an image, and what is the quality, and what will be next? But before we start, I just want to quickly play a nice video about where we came from, so from the past to where we are today. So let me start the video.
It all started over 50 years ago with a simple question. What if a computer could make pictures? How could we use them? And what would they look like generations from now?
Hello, folks. I'm Mr. Computer Image.
Welcome in. I hope you're hungry.
That was an interesting question. Show me the future of computer graphics. So based on a prompt, no one knows actually what the future is, but I'm gonna try to shed some light on that. We also have a poll, what Matt said. So the poll will be started during the webinar. There it is. So if you please can fill in the poll before we dive more into detail. Good questions, opportunity or obstacle. I can imagine that some people are very afraid. Will I lose my job? Will I be obsolete? One thing for sure, AI is disruptive. That's one thing for sure. But I'm trying to use AI as my personal assistant so that I don't necessarily need to do the boring work, you know. But I use AI as an assistant, which is just gonna help me. So the poll will be started. That's already done. We will see the input soon. But first things first, it's gonna be a slow start to say. So let me go to my next
It
slide.
all started.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So basically, to get everyone on the same page, AI itself, machine learning, it's not new. Okay? We all used it, well, years ago when we started denoising images with Arnold in 3ds Max and Maya. So the denoising is still there based on machine learning. And I think the first implementation was maybe seven years ago. So a long time ago. So it's not AI itself, it's not new. And today, what is being used the most is obviously it's Gen AI, generative AI. So generative AI is nothing else than you have a model, and the model is being trained. The model can be trained on images, can be trained on text, can be trained on audio, even can be trained on 3D objects, which is what I'm going to show you at the last part of this webinar. So you have a model, a trained model, and based on the model, we can generate new outcome. And that is literally Gen AI. And we can do that again. We can do it with images. We can do it with video, audio, text, and so on. So Gen AI is where I will focus the most on during this webinar. Next step will be agentic AI, where we do have a complete autonomous AI, which is capable of analyzing incoming data, can be sensor data, can be text data, and based on the analysis, it will perform a task completely autonomous, and it will also learn from that. So that's gonna be something for the future, where we will see agentic AI. But again, this webinar is more focused on generative AI. Very interesting. Many people are already using it for a long time. Maybe they're not aware. Some people, they say, hey, I don't use AI, but they use navigation in their car, which is also utilizing AI technology. So good things comes fast, right? So we went from research to production in just 5 years' time. Okay, and we started obviously with ChatGPT. Everyone knows what ChatGPT is. It was amazing how many users they attracted in 2020. And Stable Diffusion, another one where we're able to generate images on a prompt, and you might use, you know, Adobe's Photoshop generated fill, and that's a lifesaver. That's your best personal assistant doing stuff in Firefly. I do remember back in the days when you had to change a background image in Photoshop. That was quite challenging. That took a huge amount of time, and every time the lasso tool was just picking the wrong pixel, So in many applications, many software applications, there is already AI involved. It's not a secret, absolutely not. Keep in mind though, Gen AI can learn and understand everything, okay? So the basic thing is just text based on what we call an LLM, a large language model, like the large language model from Meta, open source, Llama. Obviously, we have ChatGPT, OpenAI, we have Mistral from France. Text-based, we have image models, Stable Diffusion, Flux. I'm just gonna show a couple of them and what I do with that. Obviously, also video, speech, and even brainwaves. So brainwaves can be understood based on AI and can be translated into speech. So that's a huge development. And also, when it comes down to 3D, we're getting there. We're not there yet. The quality is not that good. It's very low poly, but the first steps are done. And again, I will show you that later in the webinar. So Gen AI is it's a conclusion. It's transforming every industry. That's one thing for sure. And it's gonna help you as a personal assistant, it's gonna help you, for instance, just simply generating inspirational visuals as concept art, or it's gonna help you to generate the 360-degree HDR environment. It's gonna help you to generate textures if you quickly want to generate a roughness map or a normal map or a displacement map. Okay? So it is disruptive. And it's transforming every industry. It's true for 3D, visual effects, game design. It's also true for architectural interior design, where you can quickly explore architectural styles. So it's not a surprise the webinar is focused on design, on 3D, but also this is valid. It is true for fashion and product design, for creating unique design concepts. Well, photography, background and object replacement, it's really very helpful based on AI workflows. Marketing and advertising, that's also true, and manufacturing. So every industry is being transformed by AI. The big question, and that's a question I do get a lot. Okay, we know there is AI, there is so much. Where do we start? And that is a puzzle. That is really a puzzle. And we can go in two directions. Option one would be, for instance, if I want to try out some 3D content generators, or if I want to try out some diffusion models. The start is a website which is called Hugging Face. And Hugging Face is a website where you can find more than 2.1 million AI models. But it's still a challenge. Okay, which one do I need? Which one do I want? Most of them are open sourced. For some of them, you need to have a license, and you can filter the models based on the tasks you want to do. Okay, and mainly the first thing what I want to do, I want to quickly be able to generate some concept art. I want to get some inspiration based on a prompt, and later I'm gonna do that in 3ds Max, obviously. So we have, Stable Diffusion. That's a model which exists quite some time. So you can do a search on stable diffusion down here, and it will show you Stable Diffusion, and it will show you different models. So we have a base model, but we also have a Stable Diffusion, an XL, or a large model. So literally, this is where you can start trying it out. And it's also gonna tell you how to run it locally if you want to. Another model, which is also very interesting when it comes down to image generation, is Flux. Flux is really high quality image generation, and which has a 12 billion parameter transformer. So this has, yeah, a huge amount of trained images, and you can quickly, if you want, you can do a text-to-image prompt. So by utilizing what we call inference providers. So if I type something, give me a simple coffee shop interior. This is what we call inferencing. So I'm prompting, I hit generate, and in the background, it will calculate, it will generate the image. It's yeah, a bit low res, but you get the idea. I can maximize it. This is what will be generated. But the thing is, my prompts are going to an external environment, and that might something what I don't like. And it's also very tricky at Hugging Face, can be very complicated if you're not a developer. If you want to connect multiple models together, that can be very, very challenging. Very, very challenging. So a next step, what I can do, if I go back to my presentation, I can go to a more secure environment where I can define, hey, I want to do the inferencing completely local on my machine, so that all my prompts are staying within my firewall. And it is just how you build things. Okay, you can utilize AI in an existing application, or you can easily start implementing it in your own software tools like 3ds Max. So there are two ways, how to build AI. You can build it like how we build Lego. Okay, so if you want to build Lego from scratch, you can pick different colors, different Lego bricks, and you start building yourself. And that's what we call the do-it-yourself workflow. Unlimited options. Challenging though. Another scenario would be if you buy, for instance, a kit. You buy a Lego kit and you have all the pieces together, and the final outcome will be the Falcon Star Wars ship. Okay, and that is also what is available in the market as we speak of today. You can start building your own AI generators. Literally the do-it-yourself method. NVIDIA does have a very nice public catalog. It's called the NGC, stands for NVIDIA GPU catalog, where we have all the different bricks, all the different pieces, but we also have complete AI workflows, even for 3D content generation. And a workflow or a blueprint is a combination of the different components you need to build that specific pipeline, how to build the pipeline, and it also have the different parts, and it's a blueprint. So and I will show you that in a minute where to find that. So you can literally take different pieces, connect them together, and you have an AI workflow. And then you can depend, hey, what do I want to do with the workflow? Do I want to run it locally? Do I want to run it in the cloud, on-prem? That's up to you. That's up to you, completely dependent on what kind of performance do you have. So, and this really starts very, very easy. Okay, so again, NVIDIA is embracing the same models like Stable Diffusion, like Flux, like Llama, but they have been optimized. So NVIDIA did some optimization so that the diffusion models run much faster on an NVIDIA GPU. And you can start testing them in a web browser. Simple as that. So if you want to do that, let me go to my web browser again. So if I go to, and that's the main page, if I go to build.nvidia.com, build.nvidia.com, this is where NVIDIA provides all the different blueprints. So but I said, if I go to blueprints, just to show you one of the recepts, so we have enterprise blueprints, how to build a digital twin, step by step, how to start it, how to implement the different pieces, digital twin for interactive fluid simulation. There's a blueprint for a product configurator in a web browser, and we have also, what I said, the 3D object generation blueprint. So this will combine Llama, text-based model, open source from Meta, and also Microsoft Trellis, which is one of the best variants, one of the best trained AI models for generating 3D assets based on prompt or based on images. Okay, so we have blueprints, and we also have before I dive into a blueprint, we also have models. So imagine I want to try out one of the fusion models, and I can filter them if I want. I can go to explore, so I can decide, do I want to do something with vision, with camera? Do I want to do simulation? Do I want to run visual design? Or I just do a search. So if I do a search, let's search for flux. And this is what Flux has to offer. And again, these are, instead of Hugging Face, these are optimized by NVIDIA. Okay, and immediately on the site, on the build.nvidia.com, I have an option to do an experience where I can just try this one. I can do a base model, and I can, type a prompt. So I can type in a high quality spaceship, blah blah, simple prompting, and I'm inferencing this on an NVIDIA GPU in the cloud. Okay, and again, generating. Sometimes it takes a bit longer depending on the queue. That's a downside if you start to generate the content. Might be actually crowdy. Let's see, high quality spaceship. Sometimes it's a couple of seconds. Sometimes it takes 10 seconds. But this is at simplest form. I'm just trying the model, and I'm just running it in the browser, and it will generate the content. I'm not gonna wait too long for that, but it will be generated. Again, you can try this in your own environment if you want to. And also some examples available. So different coffee shop pages, surreal landscapes. This is all generated literally by utilizing the Flux model. So that's option number one, where you can again server error. It's too busy. Yeah, too busy at the moment. Yeah, if you get a 500 server error, just wait a couple of minutes. This is the downside, because I'm just doing the inferencing outside, not on my own hardware. I can do that, and I will show you that in a minute before we dive into 3ds Max. If you decide, hey, I like this model, I want to see if I can call the API. I click on Python, and this is literally the Python script which you can add to your own application or to a 3ds Max dialog box. So if you have, because Max is capable of running Python, so in a 3ds Max dialog box, you can call this API. And again, this one is not going to Hugging Face. This one is just going to the nvidia.com API website, where it will generate the output. The only thing what you need is an API key. An API key is free of charge. Just get the API key, fill in your email address, and you'll get an API key, paste in the API key, and you're good to go. Downside, again, this is API. This is not running locally, but it's up to you. If you think, hey, I just want to run this locally, I can do two things. I can deploy it straight into 3ds Max, or I can deploy it in my own RTX environment. So if I click on deploy, this is gonna tell me, what do you need? What is your target? It's often called Linux because all AI development is based on Linux, but you can install Linux on Windows by utilizing the WSL. That's a Windows subsystem, or Linux subsystem for Windows. So I can choose, for instance, I want to run this on my RTX AI PC. It's in beta, but it's working fine. And the only thing you need to do then is be able that virtualization is enabled in the system BIOS. You need to install WSL. That's the Linux subsystem, and then you literally start exporting the API key again. So this is the code where you log in and you pull and run the what we call the NIM container. This stands for NVIDIA Inference Microservices, which is, again, it's optimized or running your AI model. So this gives immediately, depending on the model, a 2x speed up, at least based on the RTX GPU you are utilizing. So if I run this, I can do it live if you want to. Let me quickly do that, just to point you guys out in the right direction. What you need, can I go there? Oh, I need a command prompt. Let me quickly, can I do that? Yeah, let me quickly go out of this one. Let me minimize this one. Let me minimize this one. So in a command, and then I dive into Max, no worries. So when you install the subsystem, if I type WSL, that's launching the Linux subsystem. So now I'm in Linux, and this is literally where I start pasting the code. So I did copy paste. So in this one is the code where I log into the NGC catalog. So log in. Okay, there we go. Then I'm gonna start the inferencing locally, and that's really cool. So I'm gonna pull and run the NIM locally on my RTX GPU, and I'm gonna utilize the Flux one. So I'm just gonna paste it in there. Okay, and this takes, well, 49 seconds, depending on GPU. And I'm working on the laptop, but I do have quite a new laptop. So HP is capable on the latest Fury with an 18-inch display to embed the NVIDIA's RTX 5000 Pro Blackwell GPU in the laptop. So this takes, well, 49 seconds. And normally you do this, on a dedicated server, dedicated workstation, so that the NIM is completely running locally. So that all the inferencing I'm doing is gonna be stored within my firewall. So I'm not sending out any prompts outside. Well, my NIM is warming up. And again, NIM is the NVIDIA inference microservice. Let me go quickly back to this story before we dive into 3ds Max. So we have the API endpoints where you can literally start in the browser. This is where we are now with the NIM. So I can test the NIMs, again, visual content generation, 3D generation as well. We can do the prototyping with the API, or we can deploy with NIMs, what I'm doing now. And that will speed things up. Why is that important? Because you want to have a secure environment. And that is what a NIM is offering you. If it comes again to image generation or 3D, the NIM is a secured virtual environment where I'm safe and able to do some development if I want to build my own AI. And there are many NIMs available if it comes down to image generation, to speech, to text, or 3D generators, or audio two-phase. Let me quickly check if my NIM is running. Yeah, it's running now. So I do get the warming up, 64 seconds. So I have this one running, and it's waiting for a prompt. So what I can do then, the next step, I can start the local inference URL. So this one is locally. So I'm just gonna run this one. I'm gonna generate a simple coffee shop interior. I'm gonna paste this in my client. So this is another client. I'm just gonna copy paste the code, and this will completely locally generate my image based on the Flux model. And again, this is literally what I do by copy and pasting the code offered by the NVIDIA website in my running inference server. And this takes up, well, maybe 60 seconds. I don't get the error 500 error because I'm running this again completely local on my RTX Blackwell graphics card GPU. And the final output, the image itself, will automatically be saved on disk. So just let it run. take some time. And then I'm going to show you how to do this locally in 3ds Max, okay? Because yeah, that's the ultimate goal, what we want before we do some 3D assets generation. Just need to come on, let's do it. 35, yeah, done. So now the image is being generated. So if I now go to my user folder, there it is, double click, ta-da! And this is completely AI generated. And in my humble opinion, it's high quality. And I can use this as inspiration. And I know you can see it's AI generated because it's too clean. As a 3D artist, you always want to have the imperfections. And I know that's the result of AI, how it is. It's very clean. All the chairs are properly aligned, you know, no additional dirt and splotches on walls. It's clean. But again, it's high quality. And again, I'm generating this completely locally on my laptop, on my Blackwell GPU. So image generation. Next step, what we can do, I'm just gonna close this one. And I don't need this one, gonna close this one, gonna close this one. I'm gonna launch 3ds Max. Because for 3ds Max, if you want to do this kind of workflows, we can do that in 3ds Max by utilizing tie diffusion. And tie diffusion is part of TieFlow, and you can use it for free. So if you download the TieFlow free version, it's available for Max 2026, 2025, and so on. You download some plugins. You just do copy paste of the plugins in the Max plugin folder. That's the only thing what you need to do. And if you then start 3ds Max, first start, cold start, give me a second to load it, because you know, GPU memory on the laptop, that's the big challenge. And especially when you start running AI models, yeah, you need to have enough GPU memory. That's a fact. So in 3ds Max, if you have a TieFlow installed, just copy paste the plugins into the Max plugins folder. You get an additional menu in your viewport label. So in the standard viewport label, if you go to tie diffusion, oh, let me quickly open up my scene, because I prepared a start scene just to viewport layout with a 3D model, and I'm just gonna launch tie diffusion. So tie diffusion will automatically be available in this part of your viewport label based on the plugins. This is also opening up a prompt on the background. This is how it works, and it always needs a backend server. So this is the GUI. This is running on the background. So I can minimize this. And now I'm capable of doing conceptual inspiration generation of models, okay, images. So basically what you have when you first install it, there's a one-click install. It will install a basic model. If you want more models, just go to the models tab. And this is where you can download all the models. Be aware, it's 80 gigabyte. Flux, which is the one I like the most at the moment, because high quality image generation, it's not listed in here. That might become available later. But also, yeah, Flux, you need if you're going to use Flux in commercial environment, then you need to have a Flux license. That's probably the reason why. So these are the models. We also have what we call animate diffusion models for animation, control, nets, LoRa's, blah, blah, and upscalers. In the generate tab, this is where all the cool stuff happens. So this is literally where we start prompting, where we can start prompting, and where we also pick which model do we want, which diffusion model do we want. So I can choose, you know, from stable diffusion. I can pick that one. Open sourced, stable diffusion. I can set the resolution. What kind of resolution do I want? We have the prompt. So in this prompt, this particular scenario, my prompt is to a spaceship, high quality. And the negative prompt is what you don't want. So I don't want blurry, noisy, low quality images, no nude, naked, don't do it, no watermarks. And this will generate the image straight in 3ds Max in the active viewport. So I need to active the current viewport. This will automatically offer you some additional icons. And then if I hit generate image, I don't want depth right now. Okay, that's totally fine. Generate image, and it will, again, just what I did locally in a complete shell. This will automatically generate images as a concept art in the Max viewport. And this is temporary. So if I hit pen or zoom, it will disappear. Okay, but I can, if I have a 3D model, I can bake it as a result, and I will show you that in a bit. So this is basically image generation. And what is also cool, we have many styles. So I can add a style. Maybe I want to have this in a very specific vibe. So I can set this vibe. Let's do steampunk. And then I'm gonna generate the image again. So, and again, in a couple of seconds, steampunk. Sometimes it even doesn't look like a spaceship. That's AI. You never know what the result will be. So steampunk is a bad idea. I'm not gonna do steampunk. Maybe we wanna do some. Give me some. Let's do line art. Okay, generate the image, and it will. Every time it will utilize the same model till I activate auto reseed. The auto reseed will, if I enable that one, that will automatically generate a new model. So let me do maybe let's do some, what's a good one? Let me do a film noir type, hit auto reseed, and I'm gonna generate the image. Okay, so that's automatically gonna regenerate the image. Okay, very quickly again, this runs completely local on my machine. Okay, so there's no prompt going out, so no worries. I know many companies, the policy is, hey, we don't want to prompt the data outside. We're gonna shut off ChatGPT, etc. This is completely locally running. If you want, I can add some additional stuff on this. We have what we call LoRa's. So LoRa is just running an additional model on top of another model. So if I want to have maybe a standard LoRa styles, maybe I want to have an explosion style based on, let me change my model. Oh, let me go to generate, basic settings. Let me go to epic realism, and in the control net, in the LoRa's, I'm gonna do a standard style. Give me, let's do an explosion style. Okay, explosion style, and generate the image again. So this is running an additional model on top of the existing model, and this is where we will get, in the end, an exploded spaceship. Again, complete random. If you have a 3D model, the only thing what you need to do is in the control net is activate depth. And this is automatically gonna check your 3D model in the 3ds Max viewport based on depth. I don't want to, let me disable the LoRa control net, that's fine. Depth is enabled. We still have the spaceship. Let me go back to, yeah, I can, yeah, let it run for now. Generate image. Yeah, and if you want to see what the prompt is doing, I can bake the prompt. So now you see the AI is respecting my 3D model, uses that as an input, and based on that, it will generate the image. It generates the image. If you want to see what is the preset, you can bake it. And that's also very nice. You can always, bake the current style, and that's gonna show you the prompt. And that's super important when it comes down to AI. And now again, we're busy with images. Next step will be 3D generation, where I talk about in the next minutes. But being able to write very good prompts is super important. So at some point you need to become a prompt engineer, new the job description, to be able to run smooth AI models. Also in the history, all the images are being saved. You can always go back, view. This is gonna show my first image, low resolution. No worries, I can utilize upscalers. This is this one. If I go to view, and it's just opening up my rendered frame buffer. It's low resolution, that is important. With AI, we do low resolution image generation because that takes less time. And if you want to have higher resolution, the only thing what you need to do is upscale. So AI models are very good in upscaling images. So in the upscaling, I can do what we call high-res fix, and I can do an upscale factor by 2, and this will automatically generate the image, but the resolution will be twice as big because the AI is automatically upscaling. So generate the image. So that's gonna be higher resolution. Takes a bit longer though. And again, your GPU needs to be able to run the model. Did I auto reseed? Is it still checked on? I guess it's still checked on. Yeah, so again, what you see takes a bit longer. He's upscaling the image itself, but look at how crisp it is. It is, in fact, it's much higher resolution. So to summarize this, again, this is completely free of charge. It's literally for image generation, where you can utilize your 3D model as long as you respect the depth. I can also show that. This is like input depth, anti-aliasing, disable, yeah, do that. So literally like a Z buffer. If you are a 3D artist, you know what a Z buffer path is. So literally based on the Z buffer, I'm able to generate the AI, and I can easily show that as well. And also, if I want, I can bake the result, so it will bake the image straight back into the 3D model, onto the 3D model. So this is what we have when it comes down to image generation based on Comfy UI straight in Max, running it locally on the GPU. And the next step is 3D generation of objects. So I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys. I think that's always important. So let me go back to my web browser. So let me go back to Hugging Face. So when we talk about 3D content generation, so image to 3D asset, Trellis, developed by Microsoft, interesting, is a very decent model to start generating 3D models based on a prompt, okay, or based on an image. And then actually in beta, based on multiple images. You know, basically, traditionally we do concept art, we draw different sides, top, front, left perspective. We give it to the modeler, and the modeler starts creating models, right? But again, this is the first start. Is this a threat for 3D modeling? I don't think so. That it's gonna be a threat for people who are able to model high quality assets. On the other hand, there is a huge amount of companies selling products who really want to have 3D models of their products so they can utilize them in a web browser or in a digital twin or in XR, but they don't have a 3D artist. And we all know that learning a 3D tool like 3ds Max takes a long time. And I still remember my first official Max training. I believe it was in 1995, where you just switch from DOS to Windows 1996. I thought, this is complicated, and it took me some time. So for that particular group of people who want to have 3D models of the products, this might be very interesting. So this is on Hugging Face, where you can do it online. Again, prompting is going outside of your organization. Next up, just to show you the page itself. So this is at Microsoft.github.io Trellis. Again, developed by Microsoft, by the Microsoft people in conjunction with other people. And this is what we are able to generate. Single assets, and the output will be a GLB file, which is the graphics library binary file. You have the GLTF, and we have the GLB file. And again, it's not bad. Okay, just let me open up. This one is generated on a prompt. Spherical robot with gold and silver design. When you zoom in, it's not a AAA quality game asset, but from a distance, okay, based on a prompt, it doesn't take the modeling time. It's just based on a prompt. And if in here you can download the GLB. Soon it will be USD file as well. So prompt-based. My experience, prompt-based, it's not super quality. Image-based is better. So this one, if I take this one is generated based on a simple sketch, simple 2D image. And again, in beta, we can upload multiple images, variants, etc., etc. Very interesting technique, though. Very interesting technique, though. If you want to be more safe, if you think, hey, I don't trust it, I'm not allowed to run this outside of my organization, go to build.nvidia.com. Why is that? NVIDIA offers a secured environment where you can generate 3D assets completely locally on your RTX machine, or your RTX GPU. So again, build.nvidia.com, models, Microsoft Trellis. When there is a run anywhere mentioned, you're able to run it again on your local RTX GPU. You can run it in on-prem, in the cloud, depending on what you want. So example, again, you can try it. Same what I did with images. So I can, this is a simple vase. There's a fruit basket done. Ta-da! This is 3D generated. And again, it's not high quality, but it's a start, and things are going so rapidly in AI development. Another one is an office chair. Ta-da! Is this one? Yeah, there we go, done. And again, from far away, it looks decent, but again, if I zoom in, if I open this, I do get a lot of triangles. So I definitely need to do a retopo in Max with my retopo modifier to clean it up if I want to have clean results. But again, really a first start where we're able to, try the model. We can utilize the Python if we want, just copy and paste this code and run this from your own dialog box in any application you want, as long as it's capable of running Python scripts, or again, deploy it. So if you want to have it locally, just go to deploy, select the target environment, Windows on RTX, and this is literally mentioning what you need to have. At least GeForce RTX 4080 or above, install the driver, virtualization, blah, blah, the Linux subsystem, export the key, and literally start copy and pasting the code. And yeah, you can create a dialog box if you're a developer, or ChatGPT will generate the code, or cloud if you want. And again, then you're just running the local service on your local port. This is the prompt, and it will generate a simple coffee shop interior. What do you get? Let me see the time. So I do have Trellis, output. Yeah, okay. So this is the output. If you want to use this one. So this was the input of the PNG image. PNG image, and this is the output GLB file. And if you want to view the GLB file, what you need to do is run online in a GLTF viewer. And just, I'm gonna drag the GLB file in there, copy it, and there it is. This is just, you know, the 3D viewer. Max is not capable yet of importing GLB or GLTF files. There is a converter. So if you want to import this inside 3ds Max, there is a converter available. It's called rapidpipeline.com, and that will offer a converter where you can import GLB, which is the binary file, and GLTF files straight into 3ds Max. And again, it's not the AAA game quality, but it's a start. It's a start. And also, in my humble opinion, things like we don't like in 3ds Max, like, you know, doing UVs. Who loves UVs? No one. Everyone hates creating decent UVs. That's gonna be much easier in the future based on AI algorithms, which are capable of doing some proper UVs. Same is true for mocap retargeting, cleaning up mocap. Like back in the days when you want to record some mocap data, you had to buy $200,000 equipment, cameras and suits, and now with a simple web camera and an AI algorithm, you're able to generate your own mocap data based on your webcam in your laptop. So one thing for sure, things are really going fast in the world of AI. Everyone in the industry will get involved with it, for 100% sure. Many companies are finding which way, what tools are we able to run? Are we gonna run it locally? Are we gonna run it on-prem or in the cloud? There are questions which needs to be answered. And again, what I said at the beginning, most of the companies are now busy with Gen AI. That's also what I showed you the most. But next up will be agentic AI, where we generate outcomes. So where we literally start combining different AI models together, and that the outcome will completely be generated in an autonomous environment, and based on that, the AI will also learn. That's something we're gonna see within robotics and also autonomous vehicles, etc. And with having that said, there's 2 minutes left.
Thank you. Thank you. That was great. Really good insight. There's a couple of questions. Well, we've just got a couple of minutes. The first one from Luca. I think when he was looking at the NVIDIA, I think it was the interface, he was saying that interface seemed more complicated. He uses something called Comfy UI.
Comfy UI.
Yeah. Any feedback on that?
Yeah, Comfy UI is another option. But the thing is, if you go the NVIDIA route, the models are being optimized by NVIDIA themselves. So the NIM, if you utilize the NIM for image generation or 3D, it will speed up at least by a factor of 2 when you go the NVIDIA route, instead of using Comfy UI with an AI model.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more secure and you get a much better performance.
Okay, thank you. That's good feedback. Another question from Duncan asking, was there anything similar to this for Maya?
Not at this point. It's just up to one of the developers, which will enable Comfy UI in Maya with the different models. But it is possible, but you need to be able to develop that within a Maya pipeline. Yeah. But it is absolutely doable. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's great. And that answers a couple of questions. I don't know if we can very quickly, if we've got time, Christy, share the poll survey. And if we don't have time now, we will send that to everybody. So you'll see the poll question results. If we can't, Oh, there we go. Okay, interesting.
Positive impact.
Yeah, that's positive. That's good to see. Well, look, we're running we are 12 o'clock now. So JP, first of all, thank you. Fantastic insight into AI, really, really interesting. And I think probably for everybody who's not involved, they need to take baby steps and get involved if they're not involved now and start using the tools. So really good insight. Thank you everyone else for joining. We've got different people from all over Europe here, so I appreciate everyone else taking their time to join. And yes, we will be sending out feedback and survey responses. So really appreciate if you can give us feedback on this session, and we'll be doing more with JP in the very near future. So thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks, and speak soon.
Bye-bye.
Take care.